So I think I know what some problems some people are having with the Gospels. Uh, also, it seems like everybody's saying John for their favorite Gospel. But going to another thing, when I talk to people, whether they're anti-theists or whatever, atheistic or agnostic, and they have the main things I keep hearing about the Bible, I don't mean in insulting or talking down to people at all, but these texts were written 2,000 years ago in a different culture, in a different language, with different it was a totally different age. And you have the writers of the Bible. I sent somebody a video that tries to clear this up. It's by Tektontvs. I'll find it and attach it and put it in the bottom. And if I don't, please remind me. And I've had people bring up the issue with Jesus when he's talking to the Canaanite woman, or sometimes it's translated Samaritan or whatever, Gentile. And he says, she says, "Lord, heal me," and the disciples are trying to quiet her down, but Christ talks to her and says, "Why should I give give to the dog what's for the children?" And she goes, "But even the dog gets the child's scraps," and she bows before him, and he says, "Your faith has healed you." He heals her. And somebody said, "Oh, see, this is making them beg." He made her beg for this, instead of looking at it in the whole picture, saying, well, he's Jewish Messiah entering into flesh. He's the Logos come down. And he was first to preach thou children of Israel, and then to the rest of the world, because they were the monotheists. And I should go and do another video about why their culture was so extremely different than the other cultures, and what they viewed as abhorrent, like child sacrifice, temple prostitution, these things. So he challenges her. He says, it's not like like India. There's hundreds of god men and all these strange things. And bowing towards somebody is a different. Bowing before someone today is different than bowing before someone 2,000 years ago, or even 1,000 years ago. Or when people use the thing of, well, see, Mary or Jesus didn't even like his mom. He calls her woman. When he says, "Woman, get me," it's like, okay, so you're thinking they should speak the exact same way. And these books weren't written by Jesus. Matthew, the one that I think it's in Matthew. It's the one, the gospel I don't care for, but it could be in any of the gospels, doesn't matter. It has Tektontvs shows Agrippa using the metaphor. He's like, basically, when the dancer, I'll give you half my kingdom. It's hyperbole. But then Jesus talks, and people say, "Oh, well, he shouldn't use that. He's God, and it's supposed to be clear." 100% clear for that day, for 2,000 years ago. So Christ should have came down and spoke as if everything were 21st century attitude towards everything. Modern Western, Anglo-Saxon speaking world. And if it's not in our cultural context, it's out, and you can't do it in anything. You can't put it in anything except our now cultural context. 2,000 years of technology. I mean, everything. and total cultural shifts, mindset shift, worldview, ideal, everything. And 21st century English-speaking America. I mean, it's as if people haven't read any other piece of ancient historical writing. Or they don't even think, oh, this is what the fundamentalists do. This is what I blame them for. And I'll tell people, you're being a literalist. No, well, I don't think I am. It's not even they're being a literalist, because a literalist would even go back and, they would try to stay within the parameters of the, text of the Bible, but they're, it's, even people who claim to be literalists will at least try, some of them. But it's what the literalists call being a letterist. And it's just strange. And there's other parts of the New Testament where you can point out, well, he's come to all nations. Jesus and the Roman centurion, the Good Samaritan parable. It's just mind-numbing. He's sent to the children of Israel first because they're the ones that are supposed to get it. They're supposed to accept him. And then it's going to go into all the world. This is what even Isaiah foreshadows all of this. In fact, almost all the messianic prophecies do. Now, I know there are some that the Jews say, oh no, there's this messianic, but there's no, pointing out, oh, this is this, or this is that, or, But it's amazing. It's just amazing. People and that's why there's translations like the New Living Bible, which I think is, it's really dumbed down. I think it's stupid, and there's a lot implied in there, but that's what they're trying to do. Or the Bible where hey, there's a Bible that's like Jesus, like, hey, what up, man, and like saying stuff's cool and like things are hip. To try to put it in the 21st century context, but I think you actually have to work at the text. I think that's just being it's laziness. And if you don't care about it, and you're looking to challenge people, debunk it, not say, let me try to get inside the mindset of what's going on here, and even the people who believe, even religious texts that I've read, alright, let's take it from the most open-minded and how a believer might look at this text whenever I'm reading any type of religious text. And with any piece of writing, you have to, throughout the ages, you kind of have to do that. Put it in, okay, what does this mean for this people of this time? The people hearing this around the time this is written. And if you say, oh, well, the Gospels weren't written until, even if you're like crazy to the point that no historian would agree with you, like the Bibles weren't written until not the Bibles, the Gospels weren't written until like the 3rd century. If you like one of these conspiracy crazy people, still the same thing applies. It's I don't know. I just don't get it. I talk to people and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Talk about misquoting Jesus. Just to be like, okay, here, oh wait, this? Wow, this is it says it's one of the most literal renderings of the Bible. Oh, so this says this. Okay, let me see the very first occurrence of this verse outside the New Testament in a commentary, and look how that's been viewed through the years. Or what are other texts like at that time? Let me read other texts. Let's go through ancient writing and see how people speak, especially these Jewish supposed messiahs or people. Or let's go through the Midrash, or let's check out Josephus, or any of the other Christian writings that were later, but of that same time, of that same mindset, the people who actually receive this message. Let's see how they talk. Let's see how they render these verses. Let's check out the Epistle of Barnabas, Didache. How is this viewed? Let's look at the whole scope of the book, and then learn the history of what went on for that time and the years preceding it. Because you have to start with the convergence of Israel as a people and a nation, butting up against pagan nations and being conquered by Rome. And Rome, this was the only exception. Everyone had to worship the gods of Rome. The Jews were an exception. Why was that? It just astounds me. People who they're skeptics, and they're the brights, and they're the intelligent, and they're, really, it's just like, wow, you got to be kidding me. But if it doesn't exactly say what I want it to say, and it doesn't mean this in English, looking at it from a 21st century mindset, I don't know what more I can say, just because it's just jaw-dropping. It renders me speechless, shockingly. Yikes. I almost feel bad for these people. Probably... Here's a stack of 50 books. Please read them. Maybe you'll get it. I don't know. They're not even trying. I mean... Yikes. Alright, I'll attach the thing where it talks about, I think it's called wacky Bible interpretations or something like that. I'll link it below. If I don't, remind me, because I'm very forgetful. Alright, peace to you. May God save Serbia and Syria. It almost sounded like I said cereal there, didn't it? Syria. Alright, take it easy. Their favorite gospel. But going to another thing, when I talk to people, they're anti-theists or whatever, atheistic or agnostic, and they have the main things I keep hearing about the Bible. So I think I know what some problems some people are having with the Gospels. It seems like everybody's saying John. I'll find it and attach it and put it in the bottom. And if I don't, please remind me. And I've had people bring up the issue with Jesus when he's talking to the Canaanite woman. I don't mean insulting or talking down to people at all, but these texts were written 2,000 years ago in a different culture, in a different language, with different it was a totally different age. And you have the writers of the Bible. I sent somebody a video that tries to clear this up. It's by Tektontvs.